Thank you for staying with us here on the Nigeria Police Radio 99.1 FM Abuja. My name is Aleyita Story, and I hope your morning is going well. As earlier planned, we've had a very interesting session during the newspaper headlines and review with you. And I told you again earlier when I opened the station this morning that we're going to be having interesting conversations going into the day. And we're going to be having one right now. Very important one for that matter. It's about climate change and poor sanitation, which continues to pose significant challenges to vulnerable communities in Nigeria, particularly those with limited access to information and basic infrastructure. Issues such as flooding, unsafe toilets, and poor waste management system not only worsen living conditions, but also threaten public health and environmental sustainability. And there are people and organizations who have been at the forefront of saying that Nigerians have adequate information. Not just information, but they also go a step further to create means and infrastructure to alleviate the worsening condition of Nigerians concerning some of those issues. And I have some people in the studio, a lady and a gentleman, who are with me here in the studio for us to have a conversation around some of these issues and what they've been doing to make sure that Nigeria becomes a better place for you and I. With me in the studio are representatives from the NG Youth SDGs network and also ICCDI Africa. Let me allow them to introduce themselves. I'm going to start with the lady. Do not say I'm biased because I'm starting with the woman in the studio. Please, could you introduce yourself to my listener before we hit the ground running with our conversation?
Okay, thank you for the opportunity. Good morning, everyone. My name is Miriam Mandum, and I'm one of the youth volunteers on the Youth-led Safe Sanitation project that was held in Aleyita.
All right, thank you for that, Miriam. You're welcome to the Nigeria Police Radio, and hopefully we're going to have a robust conversation around what you do at the NG Youth SDG and the project at hand. We also have a gentleman in the studio who will also be introducing himself to us. Good morning, sir, and you're welcome.
Good morning. My name is Makamabuti Sunday, Deputy Chairman of Elia Primary School, Aleyita. Thank you very much.
You're welcome, sir. And you heard him mention Aleyita. So that's one of the locations of the project that was done. But I'm not going to let the cat out of the bag just yet. Let me go straight to my guest who will be giving us details of their activities so far. So, Miriam, I'm going to be asking you this question, so that we get to understand, myself and my listener, we get to understand what you've been doing and why you are here. Can you introduce the project, or should I say before joining, what was your understanding of the link between climate change and sanitation before we go into the project that you are currently running?
Okay, thank you very much for that question. So before the project, I just had a simple idea of sanitation and climate change. I just thought bad sanitation equals to bad health, right?
Yeah.
And we know that poor hygiene and poor waste management are like synonymous to each other. But when I joined the project, I got in-depth knowledge that not only does poor hygiene affect people's health, it also affects the environment and leads to adverse effects of climate change. Thank you.
All right, so Miriam is actually a volunteer in this particular project, and now she's telling us her experience, what she knew before joining this project. So how did you first hear about the project, and what made you want to volunteer?
Okay, so I've always been passionate about community development, working in underserved community and sustainability. And I heard about the project on a platform called YOMA. So it's Youth Opportunities Marketplace. I think it's a platform by UNICEF, if I'm not wrong. So on this platform, they share opportunities, they share internships, volunteer opportunities, projects, job opportunities, and a lot more for youth. And when I was scrolling one day, I saw the opportunity, the project, and I realized that it's not so far from where I live. And I thought, why not jump on it? Because it's something that aligns with my passions and my values.
Okay.
And I immediately applied. Thankfully, I got in.
All right, that's great to hear from you, Miriam. So now, what did you learn after the 3-day virtual capacity building session? Because I was meant to understand that there was that session which was done in order to build the capacity of volunteers. So what did you learn from that?
Oh my goodness, I learned so much. The facilitators, they did really well. I just want to thank NGUth SDGs for the training sessions, because the facilitators, they didn't just come with slides to just tell us, to just give us information. They really taught us well. They gave us statistics, they gave us data, they gave us facts and context about open defecation and its adverse effects in Nigeria. I learned that about 48 million people in Nigeria still practice open defecation, and I learned that Jigawa State is the first state in Nigeria that has been certified open defecation free. If I didn't attend those capacity training sessions, I wouldn't have known that. So I learned so much. I learned community engagement, I learned storytelling and advocacy, and it really went a long way in helping me talk about the project more online.
All right, thank you very much, Miriam. Now I'm going to be moving to my other guest in the studio, Mr. Makama, who is a community leader. And my question will be basically on the awareness and also perception that you have now and the one you had before this particular project. So before the project, what were some of your major sanitation or environmental issues affecting your community?
Actually, before the inception of the program, the community was a mess. But with the incoming of this program in our community, we've gotten to understand that sanitation is a key to promote health in our community. Since that time up to now, people are very, very sensitive about cleanliness of the environment.
Okay, so you're hearing project. The project is Youth-Led Climate and Sanitation Project initiated by NGUth SDG and ICCDI Africa with support from UNICEF, and there are other active stakeholders in that particular project. We're talking about RUASA, we're talking about the other partners such as Federal Ministry of Water Resources are integral to the success of this particular program. And I'm going to still ask you more questions, Mr. Makama, because you are the beneficiaries as a community of this particular project, and you have highlighted the situation of your community before the coming of this project. So now, how has the project influenced people's behavior towards waste management or toilet use?
Actually, people have known that the open defecation does not help the members of the community. And for that reason, people are very conscious of that they will fight whosoever that will practice open defecation in our community. Likewise, the management or the disposal of the waste in the community. People are very conscious that waste are not to be disposed or discarded anyhow, but to the designated place that it ought to be.
So now, have you, as a person or any of your family member, benefited directly from any of the interventions such as the eco-friendly toilets or the environmental health club activities?
All right. Actually, whether directly or indirectly, I will not say no, because since there are still children who are there in the community, actually, if you go to that eco-friendly toilet, is so wonderful. In fact, we are very, very proud of this organization who has brought such development in our community. And actually, people have seen that open defecation should no longer be a thing to be mentioned in the community at all. So we cannot actually say, I cannot actually say that my people have not benefited. Definitely they have benefited.
Okay, so now what are you looking up to going forward?
Well, what I'm looking of going forward, number one, is to still encourage the people about the waste management. That waste is not to be disposed anyhow in the community, as that will create an avenue for disease to come and attack people in the community. And therefore, I will also try by all means and be sure that I encourage the people, most especially the water bottles, not to be discarded anything. Before now, water bottles were found everywhere, littered everywhere. But because of this knowledge that have been brought that water bottle can be used for recycling, and it is something concrete that is built in Aleyita Primary School, Aleyita, and they are seeing it. People are saying, wow.
So we can actually use plastic bottles to construct a toilet.
A toilet. If you go there, in fact, they say in the whole north, Aleyita village is a pilot school that such projects have been executed. And it's a pride for our community indeed.
All right, that's great to hear from a community leader of Aleyita here in the nation's capital. Now, let me come back to you, Miriam. We are not... Okay, we're having a little less than 5 minutes to wrap up the conversation. Let me take this from you. As a volunteer, what challenges did you face while mobilizing community members, and how did you overcome them?
Okay, thank you for that question. One challenge was disbelief and apathy.
Okay.
People were like, we have heard this before, or we don't have money for toilets, or just something along the lines. But in mobilizing them, we had to be relatable. We had to come up with stories to show them that we are not just coming to do anything here. We show them that we care about them, and that's why we're coming to carry out this project. And when they saw that we're actually serious about it, they came on board with us.
So now, what plans are there in place to maintain the trees and sanitation facilities provided?
Okay, an environmental health club has been established, and with the club, it ensures that the momentum keeps going on. It ensures that there's continuity and sustainability. At least there's ownership of the project with the people in the community. With this club, there's going to be trainings and facilitations showing them how to use the facilities so that it will be there for a long time.
All right, so now let me come back to the leader, talking about Mr. Makama. How do you plan to continue promoting climate and sanitation awareness after this project has been concluded in your community?
All right. Actually, the community is actually happy for such program that has come to the community. We have the plan to meet in the community in order to see how the community will sustain the program. That is to practice monthly sanitation to ensure that no waste is littered everywhere to make the environment dirty.
All right, now come back to you, Miriam. In your view, what support is needed to sustain the result achieved so far? And should I say, what message would you like to share with other young people about climate and sanitation?
Okay, thank you so much. So I have one word for that: collaboration. Yes, the project has been carried out in the community, but collaboration will be needed with other organizations, with government agencies to come in and make sure that we achieve an open defecation-free Nigeria. And what I will tell young people is that you don't have to wait for a big opportunity to start in your own little way. In fact, just maybe pocketing a candy wrapper or pure water leather until you see a proper waste disposal bin to trash it. That is one way you can start. You don't need to wait for a big opportunity to start something.
All right, thank you very much, Miriam, who is here with us in the studio alongside Mr. Makama. They actually opened our eyes to the power of collaboration in terms of community coming together with civil societies and creating positive impact in our societies. Before we go, I would love to ask Mr. Makama this question. Sir, what would you say to other community leaders who are listening to us this moment?
All right. Truly speaking, I want to encourage every community that may be listening to this program that in case such program come to their community, they should welcome it, because the organization has made the community to know that with the water bottles that some people gather and just throw them or discard them anyhow or even burn them, they can be recycled into a fruitful and a good project. Therefore, I am encouraging all the community leaders that may be listening to this program to imbibe the same culture of welcoming the people wherever they may go and find them in the community.
All right, thank you very much. So you heard it from the leader of Aleyita community here in the FCT, and also from Miriam, a volunteer with the NG Youth SDG. The project was a laudable one, and it was the youth-led climate and sanitation project with core objectives to raise awareness on climate change and sanitation challenges, to also promote sustainable environmental practices at the grassroots level. Again, they did that to empower young people as agents of change and community leaders in promoting safe sanitation and environmental resilience. The strategy they adopted was to identify and train youth volunteers like Miriam from within the target communities and equipping them with the knowledge and tools to champion local initiatives. By doing so, it strengthens community ownership, promotes sustainability, and also builds resilience against climate-related issues. Talking about open defecation, there was a target for Nigeria to be open defecation-free by 2025, but lately it has been extended to 2030 because the target obviously will not be achieved. But you can contribute your own quota to see that we achieve open defecation-free Nigeria by 2030. Thank you very much, Miriam, for coming on the show. And also thank you to Mr. Makama, the leader of Aleyita community.
Thank you for having me.
It was such an interesting moment with them in the studio to tell us what youth SDGs are doing in collaboration with ICCDI and also with support from the UNICEF alongside partners like Ministry of Water Resources and also RUWASA in the nation's capital. Thank you for listening. Do stay with us. Up next will be Police Diary. Go nowhere. This is the Nigeria Police Radio 99.1 FM Abuja, and my name is Aliyuta Story. Bye for now.